guys, welcome to another episode of the e-commerce lab by Ecomcy, the place where everything related to Amazon FBA private label and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we bring you Max Sinclair, who is the founder and CEO of Ecomtent, which is a tool that helps you generate images for your e-commerce stores using AI. So we know AI has been a hot topic for the last couple of weeks now. We have seen a lot of tools coming up to basically help us, keep optimizing and scaling our business, specifically also in the commerce space. And that's why when I met Max and he showed me the tool, I thought it was very cool and something very unique. And I wanted to bring him on board so he can give us a little bit of insights around how these new tools combined with AI can be game changer for your business. So, Max, it's a pleasure to have you here today. How you doing, man?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you, Vincenzo?
Doing great. Says thank you for being here. I think when we had the conversation earlier this week, and I saw what you two could do, and we did the demo and everything. For me, was very interesting because I mean, as I said now at the beginning of the episode, AI has been something that is very hot topic right now. Everybody's talking about that. Everybody's
Absolutely.
playing with that. Apparently now everybody's an expert on that. So you know
Yeah.
a lot of things are happening in the space, but I wanted to bring you on board because I definitely think
Mhm.
your tool has something unique, and I want to talk about that and some of the features. And now, before we jump into that, though, I usually first want to start with my guest, which is in this case you. I want to give to my audience a little bit of context around who is Max, how you got started into the commerce space, and what brought you to start playing with AI and do e-content. Yeah.
Sure. So I'm Max. I prior to founding this company, I worked for Amazon for 6 years. So that's kind of how I got into the e-commerce space.
Okay.
Um, I started my Amazon journey as an account manager and then the strategic account manager. So I probably worked with I don't think hundreds of sellers is an over exaggeration, to be honest. I've probably worked with hundreds of sellers in those
That's good.
roles.
So you saw
So
everything.
I saw everything, yeah. And my very first job was actually on the seller onboarding. So I'd set them up with everything. I set them up on
Hmm.
Amazon and then on FBA, the listings,
Yeah. Hmm.
everything. So then the advertising. So I kind of, although I've never, I've kind of worked through that journey with many sellers. I then kind of moved to like a program management role.
Hmm.
I was running the customer insights for the launch of Amazon Business in UK, so the B2B,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool. So kind of got a bit deeper into Amazon customers. I then was on the part of the Singapore team that launched Amazon
Hmm.
in Singapore, and
Oh,
there
nice.
I was in charge of catalog quality. So
Okay.
really got deep into all this stuff that we're going to talk about: listing quality, A
Hmm.
plus content. I mean, everything which, in my opinion, is kind of ripe to be optimized and improved with generative AI, as we'll get onto. And then yeah, like I then moved back to the EU for a bit, but and then I left last year to found this company, Ecomtent, which I'm very
Wow.
excited about.
That's awesome. That's a nice background. I think we found that a lot of people in the space, especially in Amazon space, the previous has some experience working with Amazon or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And usually when we find out, oh, you know what, I can do something on my own and actually support these sellers with my own
Hmm.
company and everything, which is great to see that you're doing that with a content and providing value to the community. Now, I want to start jumping into today's topic, which is basically, how this tool that you have created basically uses AI to generate images. And maybe we can start with if you can give us a little bit of insights about what is e-content, because I gave a brief explanation, but maybe just give us a little bit
Sure.
of insights about what is about this new tool you released. Yeah.
So Ecomtent, our mission is to bring generative AI to e-commerce sellers, and I think it's really important. Maybe we can talk about what generative AI is, because
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all very familiar with what AI is, and AI has been around since, it's been commercialized since the 1980s, right? So it's not new. But what is new is generative AI, and
Mm-hmm.
if I was to explain the key difference, AI, the first wave of AI, just artificial intelligence, leverages computers to mimic the problem solving of a human at like a massive scale across massive data sets. So what you
Okay.
would typically do is use data, use AI to do data classifications or regressions, big math problems. And this has radically changed in the last few months, because we now have
Mm-hmm.
something called generative AI, which you can
Okay.
use artificial intelligence, but to create new content, so new images, videos, text, code,
Okay.
whatever this content is. Um, and it's slightly different. What you do is you train a AI model to understand the characteristics of the input data, and then the model will
Okay.
create new data, which is similar to what it's been trained on, but fundamentally new and different. So it's a big step change in technology, and it's really going to have wide implications on everything. But
Mm-hmm.
we're an e-commerce podcast, so we'll get into e-commerce.
Yeah.
And Ecomtent, our goal is to kind of bring this revolution to e-commerce sellers. So what we're focused on right now is using generative AI to create lifestyle images and product images. So you can train the model on some images, and you can create new product images in any scenario instantly. So you can bring in a model of any gender or any ethnicity into your image. You can put it anywhere, like on a mountain, in a field, wherever you want, and you can do this instantly. And it's creating a net new image. So the lighting is hyper realistic, the shadows are realistic, reflections, everything looks like it's a
Mm-hmm.
photograph, but it's you've done it on your computer in seconds. So
That's
that's
great.
that's what yeah, I'll stop there.
Yeah.
That's what we're focused on.
Yeah, that's a very good explanation. I think I totally agree with you that in the last couple of months is where we have started to see this generated AI as you explained it. And I think something that some people might start wondering themselves is like AI, due to the fact that it's something that is like a self-learning machine.
Yeah.
Maybe some people may start asking themselves if this is just the beginning in terms of the level of quality that we can start achieving in the outputs, because maybe you can go more in depth in this, but AI, more time it goes with, the better it becomes, right? So maybe you can explain with
Yes.
us if this is
Yeah.
actually going to become better and better as time goes, and how it keeps learning from itself, right?
Um, the kind of the speed of how fast this is moving is actually quite scary, and
Yeah.
I'll give you a
We
concrete
we are going to
example.
reach
So
singularity point.
yeah, yeah. So if we take ChatGTP, which is
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everyone's favorite generative AI, I don't, ChatGTP, for those who haven't used it, is a natural language kind of bot that can understand basically any topic, and kind of give you an answer to any prompt you give it. The
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, the first version of GTP had 100 million parameters. In 2022, so that's 4 years later, we had 175 billion. And
Wow.
we are looking at GTP4 coming, in the next 6 months, and that does 100 trillion. So
Wow.
in terms of it's quite hard to imagine how big those numbers are. But it's quite extraordinary. It's like kind of comparing the size roughly between the Earth and the Sun.
Yeah.
That's kind of the jumps that we're seeing and the first jump took 4 years, the next jump is under a year. So the quality of these images are improving rapidly. um, there's kind of a lot of open research in this space, and Ecomtent, you know we're a small team, but my CTO is a PhD in AI. He's kind of keeping one eye on all these developments, and then we're kind of working out
Yeah.
how we can bring them to e-commerce, and how we can apply what's relevant. So yes, to answer your
Yeah.
question, the improvements are
It's
staggering,
moving
and yeah,
fast.
it's moving very, very
Now,
fast. Exactly.
yeah, at the same time, I bet you have also seen that a lot of people is getting scared specifically, and I'm just gonna give a quick example based on the tool that you specialize on, which is graphic designers, because now graphic designers may say, you know what, now there are amazing tools out there such as Ecomtent that can do my work in seconds. So, right, so maybe we can start with that. What would be right now, you said,
Yes.
the key difference between the output you can get out of a AI generated image and one done by a person itself? What are some of the key differences that maybe we are not there yet, and we're gonna eventually get there? If you can maybe mention that. Oh,
I think
AI is just better,
so.
and that's it.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that question in two parts. I'll take first of all like what we're doing at Ecomtent, and then I'll take maybe the broader question of like, are AI coming for our jobs, which I
Yeah,
think is like a very
exact.
fair question that people
Yeah,
will have.
yeah, yeah,
So number one, at to start with Ecomtent, like we work with graphic designers, like our we you know we one of our missions, what our mission is to enable unimaginable creativity with
yeah.
our tool. The hassle of organizing a photo shoot and the logistics of moving things around and hiring models and all of this stuff you put to bed. You can do anything, right? And therefore the teams can focus on what is the best way to market this product, or what is your big vision. We can help you create
Mm-hmm.
that instantly, and we can help you to
Awesome.
iterate on that very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And we can help, we help creatives to really focus on what they love doing, which is the creativity, and not on the logistics, and to iterate fast. So really, we're working with social media, like the people who end up kind of using the tool are going to be the social media managers, as you
Mm-hmm.
say, the graphic designers. So uh, these are our users. We're not coming for their job, so to speak. And then I'll take this point more. Yeah, I'll take this point more broadly as well. And I think like I actually studied history at university, and I can tell you at every kind of on every precipice of like a new technological revolution, people always had this worry. And very specifically with the advent of the camera, people were saying, wow, artists going to be out of work. What's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
to illustrators? If you can, imagine a pre-camera kind of newspaper, what you would see is everything, all the adverts would be illustrated, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so there was, and it escapes me the name of the person, but a famous philosopher wrote this kind of piece, pamphlet on like the advent of the mechanical art or something
Yeah.
like this, and kind of arguing that art had finished and this was terrible. And Plato himself actually argued against teaching people to read.
Yeah.
The reading's terrible. We should remember everything. But what actually happened, if you kind of fast forward, is, are there still graphic designers? Of course. What are
Yeah.
these graphic designers doing? Are they like doing boring? I say boring. Are they kind of trying to create photorealistic stuff like they like maybe they were in the Victorian era? No, they're not. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're busy working at Pixar. A graphic designer, I think, I had a look at this recently, and I think it's one of the highest job satisfaction in America. I think it's growing like
Yes.
20% a year in terms
Mm-hmm.
of what these people are doing. And if you put yourselves in the view of, oh, the camera's just been invented, it would be unimaginable to think, wow, we're gonna, one day we're gonna have Pixar movies. They're gonna be cartoons, be entertaining children with graphics, and it's, and adults, and it's gonna be this huge industry. Then you, so I really believe that whilst it's very hard to say exactly how things will change, like we've gone from a agricultural society where basically 90% of us were, farming, in terrible, horrible conditions.
Yes.
And we now have this society where people have got all sorts of jobs which are like, including both of our jobs, which are just unimaginable to our ancestors. And what has powered that has been technology. And
That's right.
I think it's very easy to say at every stage of these revolutions, God, moving so quickly. It's never been like this. What's going to happen? But
Yeah, it's correct.
it's just not been the case. Looking at the mobile revolution or the industrial revolution or like like it's just people have always adapted, and the quality of life has improved. And I don't know, unemployment, I think, in the UK is super low, right? It's at like 4%. So like it's just
Hmm.
not the case that technology takes people's jobs. I firmly believe that it enhances people's jobs and brings like a better quality of life for
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree. I think is like everything. When something new comes to market, you either adapt to it, or you just cry about it and just get affected. So I think it's all about, keep adapting to the circumstances or what the
yes.
market brings to you, and go with it, right? Now, talking about AI, and now I want to start bringing this closer to our home, which is basically using this with Amazon, selling on Amazon, right? I think one of the beauty now
Yes.
that we're gonna get access by using AI in combination with Amazon Business is that we know that previously when we had issues with conversions or at our listings and we needed more images and things like that, this will take sometimes weeks by the time you define what is the characteristics that you want the designer to follow, the criteria, and so on. And now with a couple of buttons, AI can do this for you, which is, I think, is going to be game changer in the Amazon space. So maybe we can start, if you can, highlighting
Yeah.
what, from a seller perspective, right? When it comes to start using AI in the Amazon business, what is the amount of information they might need? Because maybe they are scared that they need to have a lot of inputs. It's gonna be very complicated to play with AI, but actually it's very simple, and I think you're gonna actually share that with us today. But maybe you can give us
Yes.
an intro to that. Yeah.
So I think this generative AI is gonna. I mean, the most obvious way this is gonna change is content, and that's what we're
Mm,
focused on at e-commerce content. So you can create images, product images in any scenario. You can create an infinite amount, meaning that you can run your social media full of really kind of engaging stuff, and you can optimize this to be more engaging. You can have dynamic listing pages, right? There's no reason why pages should be
yeah.
static anymore. You can optimize for different events. So I think this is really going to change how content is on Amazon. I can touch on two others, which is not like e-content's focus, and then we can come back to what we're doing. I think
Sure.
another really interesting way it's going to change is product design. I think
Okay.
with generative AI, it's very. I mean, I would encourage people to try this with Chat GTP. It's super cool. You can put in an ASIN. You can say summarize the reviews of this ASIN, and it
Mm-hmm.
will read the ASIN page, summarize the key feedback, and that will help sellers with designing their products. What do people like? What do people dislike? And I think that's going to be a big one, and one close to my heart, because once upon a time I was helping sellers with kind of looking at this kind of stuff very manually in one of my roles at Amazon. So I think this is super cool. Um, and then another one is kind of inventory management, and I think
Mm-hmm.
here, like with generative AI, the degree of uncertainty that it can handle is incomparable, because traditional AI, you have outputs based on the inputs you give it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with generative
That's right.
AI, you can work on new data sets. You can create new data sets similar to the training data. You can account much more accurately for external factors like Christmas or freak weather storms or anything like this. And I think
Yeah.
inventory management, inventory planning is going to be improved a lot. But yeah, I guess e-content, what we're really focused on is the content side of it.
Yeah.
You can create more engaging content. You can create it quicker. You can create it to a high quality, and that's what we're helping sellers to do.
That's great. Now, I know you're gonna also give us a little bit of a demo around the
Oh
tool and
yeah,
meetings. So
live
I
demo, very
know,
scary.
yeah, I know people is waiting for that because I know this. I mean, there are so many things we can keep discussing and we can take hours and hours. But sometimes, the easiest thing that we can do is to just show the thing in action and show how simple it can
Absolutely.
be and how people can start using it. So basically, this is how the tool will look like, and I think Max, you can take it from here now.
Sure. So I'll describe this for the podcast listeners. We basically have on the top left hand side a where you can add your prompt. So we train our tool on the on customers' products. So in the middle you can there's a photo of a chair. We've
Mm-hmm.
trained this chair on two kind of like iPhone photos taken in the factory in China
Okay.
for this customer, and we're kind of helping them to create the lifestyle images they need to for their website, etc. Then you can take this chair and put it in any scenario. So for example, you can put it in a Scandi style room for
Mm-hmm.
things they wanted to do, and I've just clicked generate, and the video listeners will see that you can toggle how many images you've created. I've created 3 for this, but you could create thousands of images, and it's taken seconds. So we've just had the first image created while we've been speaking, so that was probably what,
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah, nothing.
um and you can and you can see it's just generating and generating images. You can change the prompt. So let me just stop this and show people. So here are the 2 images we created in this kind of Scandi style room. You can see it's very light and airy, kind of.
It
I mean,
looks
I'm
so
not an
real. I
interior
mean, the
designer.
shadows, everything, the
It,
reflection. Yeah. It,
it's incredible, and that we can do one more. We can take it to a rustic room with a fireplace, for example.
so now, for those that are watching and also hearing this, I guess for this to be as accurate as possible, and you briefly mentioned this, you need to input at least some images of the real images of the product, right? So the AI can work on that, right?
Exactly. It's best, and we have slightly different product offerings. This is the highest quality, where you give the AI a handful of images. They can just be off your phone camera. They can be your
Yeah.
existing like ACE and detail pages, and the
Mm-hmm.
AI then understands like this is a chair. It can kind of
Mm-hmm.
comprehend other millions of chairs on the internet, understand how they interact with light with in rooms, like where they're placed around a table, etc., blah blah blah. And then it will create, and then our AI will focus on like recreating your product. So as the viewer will be able to see like all of the chairs created are the same product. It's one
Mm-hmm.
product. This is kind of the key difference between like using Ecomtent and something like Dali, where you're just creating random chairs, which is cool, but we're focused on creating an accurate product, and you put it in any situation. So for this fireplace one, you see we've just created two new fireplaces. It's kind of we said a rustic room, so you've kind of got this wood paneled and stone fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it looks cool, right?
Yeah, it looks very very real. That's why I wanted to ask you how it was taking the information from. And another question also I wanted to ask you about this, and maybe you're gonna cover this anyway. But with these images right now, with the technology that we have with AI, are we also able to do infographics with it, or we will have to take these images and do infographics on top of that? How is currently working?
So we love working with customers. So if you're a customer, get in contact. Like we're a new business. We're constantly learning. We've had this request for
Mm-hmm.
kind of text overlays. Um, what
If
I
you
would
do that,
where
you're gonna smash it. I'm telling you.
well, where we want to go is we want to have like this kind of like chat GTP overlay. So like,
Okay.
we understand the chair. It says
Uh-huh.
like, you understand the prompt. So you kind of go like, beautiful rustic, chair, perfect
Yeah.
for you. I mean, I don't know. I'm not again, like we want to train an AI so that it hits the right keywords, and it hits,
Yeah.
based on data and what's selling well on Amazon. So this is definitely on our roadmap. We don't have it here right now. Right now,
Yeah.
we're focused on images, but yes, like text and video, we're working on it. It's
Yeah.
coming. So yeah.
Yeah. And just to add on top of that, to be honest, I think the images, which is what you're generating right now, is actually the most complicated and expensive
Oh,
thing to do. So I think just
exactly.
by
Yeah.
having such amazing images we're seeing the screen right now, you have 80% of the work done, because doing adding the text, it then it is easy to do
Yeah,
afterwards.
like you
So
can do that. Yes, yeah, exactly. Like I think one of the like interesting challenges that we're debating internally is like, we've talked about ChatGTP, it's free. So in order for us to release something, I want to be really confident that we're outperforming ChatGTP on e-commerce.
that's right.
Like we're
Yeah,
creating more optimized content, we're adding value to sellers. We're not just kind of like tagging on technology and that's out there and is free. So we're working on it, but we want to be really sure that we're bringing like something of value. So like when we have that, we'll release it, and hopefully it's, people love it and is cool.
that's great. And just to do a final question, so you can continue with finishing the demo. I think one question that I'm for sure gonna get in the
Yeah.
comments is everything that has to do with the copyright issues, right? So maybe people are going,
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
because I have
sure.
seen those questions around chat GPT, and maybe they're gonna ask, okay,
Yeah,
where are the images coming from? I'm gonna have issues with the background maybe being from a background of
sure.
another image or things like that. Can you maybe clarify that so people feel
Yes,
fine with that?
I
Yeah.
am. Yes, I am. I will start by saying I'm not a lawyer, and I'll say that because I hear people say I feel like I'm supposed to say that when I talk about this
Yeah, I
stuff.
know it's always
I'm
dangerous.
definitely not a lawyer,
Yeah.
but and I just sent an email on this today actually. So I'll just explain how it works, right? So in this image, what you're looking at is a chair which is owned by, which is the intellectual property of the seller, and then you
Hmm.
have a fireplace, and you have a fire, you have a carpet, you have a bookshelf with stuff on it.
Hmm.
This background doesn't exist. It's never existed. It's not a real thing. What
Wow,
we've done here is we've trained it. Yeah, seriously, we've trained it
it's crazy. Yeah, to
on
know that.
millions and
Yeah.
millions of images of fireplaces and rustic rooms, and
Mm,
based on the prompt that we gave, which is in a rustic room with a fireplace, we've generated a new thing. So it's impossible to track this back to any
I
one
see. I
photographer
see.
or room or anything like that. It's completely new image. And again, like, I'm not a lawyer, but I can read OpenAI, who obviously are a much bigger company than we are. I can read their policy. So they say, OpenAI, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
OpenAI
pretty
hereby
much
assigns you all the
is
rights,
fully
titles,
generated new
interests
content.
on the output. Yeah, it's new
Hmm.
content, and like, again, like, if you want to see the legal stuff, I'm sure OpenAI have paid very expensive lawyers to write
Yeah,
their
for sure.
terms. It's the same stuff, but it's net new. Like, no individual can
That's
come and
awesome.
claim. I think with like the whole Dali stuff and creating art, there's this question of like, hey, like, you're creating art in the style of Picasso. Does Picasso
Hmm.
own this IP? I don't, like, we're not in that situation, right? Like, no one owns a rustic room and like a fireplace. These are not like,
Yeah.
there's so it's, we're kind of a lot safer than like, what's happening at the moment, which is people like replicating art. But even then, like, for that, I think it's an ongoing discussion. I'm not a lawyer, I don't know,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, hopefully that
That's
alleviates people's concerns.
Yeah, and for everybody that's just listening this in audio, I mean, you guys need to come to the YouTube video and see the image by yourself, because the fact that this,
Yeah, definitely.
as you explained, that this background doesn't exist, and it got
Yes.
generated from nowhere, is crazy. So, yeah, for sure, 100%. So now, I don't know if you wanna highlight anything else around the tool, because I see other options that maybe you wanna bring to the
No,
table. So,
so we like, uh, we have an image to image. So I won't go into this. I'll just explain it very quickly. So, like, if you
yeah,
like one particular image, you can like focus the machine on replicating that image and then slightly tweak it. So
okay.
let's say you love this fireplace, but you wanted the I don't know, like the wall to be red or something, whatever
Hmm.
you wanted. You can then like do an image to image generation, put
I
this
see.
image in it, then change like in a
Like
red room.
revisions of the image. Yeah.
Exactly. And we also have another one which you can kind of like, you can just like regenerate certain parts of it. So let's say like you love this image, but you didn't like the fireplace and you wanted to regenerate that, you can just like highlight that bit and regenerate a new fireplace. Or maybe like if there's something, it's not going to be correct 100% of the time with AI. Like to get AI to 100% is impossible. Like we're pretty confident that the like 80-90% of these images that we generate are like incredible quality and completely usable from scratch. There's always going to be some which aren't. I mean, you can generate on our tool like an unlimited number, so that's kind of fine and it's okay. But if you really like an image but you didn't like one aspect of it, you can just regenerate that. So you can
That's good.
change a clock to a picture. You can just you could highlight that clock and say, let's turn this into a portrait, or you could do whatever. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's
That's great. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised. I mean, in terms of, I keep mentioning because it's true. I mean, the quality of the image is great, and I really can think of some scenarios we can even start using it within our agency, and some of our clients. So
great.
I think it's awesome because, as I've been mentioning from the very beginning, one of the biggest barriers when it comes to selling on Amazon is always the fact that people, they don't want to spend thousands on a photographer session that, to take lifestyle images such as that look just like this. And now with a tool, you can have it in seconds. So it's definitely going to be a game changer. So yeah, Max, I mean, I think we cover a lot of interesting things. I know this is
Yes.
just the beginning for your tool. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be releasing many things in the future and can't wait to
Oh
have you
yeah,
in future
we've got a very
occasions.
big
So
roadmap. Yes,
yeah,
cool. Yeah,
so we can
love to
talk
come and
about that.
discuss that. Yes.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I want to give you the last couple of minutes so you can tell us more about where people can reach out to you, how people can start using e-content, and then make
Yes.
sure to put it down in the description. Yeah.
Yep. So we will run a promo as we discussed for these podcast listeners. So our website is www.ecomtent. That's ECOMTENT .ai. So that's just e-commerce and content merged together into one word, e-content.
Nice.
And then if you do that, I think we'll put the link in. But if you do
Yeah.
www.ecomtent.ai/promo, you'll see the promo code, and we'll give 20% off if you come via the podcast or the YouTube. So that's where you can find us. Yeah, like
Awesome, Max.
if you want to find out more, please reach out. You can book a demo. We can talk more if anyone's interested.
That's great. So thank you very much, Max, and it's been a pleasure to have you here today. And looking forward to having you on the next one. Yeah. Thank you, man.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
See ya, man. Bye bye.
Bye.